Okay, hello everybody. This is part 7. We're about to head north out of Port Last to go and hunt down information on a very nasty cult. So let's see what we can find. Okay, first of all, here's the farmer who's lost his wife.
Hello there. You best be careful.
Okay. And because it's traditional, let's go and burgle his house while we're standing here. There we go. Nothing else to steal. Okay, so there's quite a few other things you can do up around here. There's 2 or 3 quest areas that lead off this particular spot. But the most important, of course, is going to be going into those caves and trying to find out where the cult is. Okay, here we go. More running around like a lunatic. Oh, there's a chest. We ought to go steal everything from that chest as well. And a nice little box as well. That's a very strange route to have taken, but there you go. Onwards and upwards. Well, that was a very unpleasant thing to do. Let's just freeze these walls. And it serves them right too. Let's just pick some more of these berries. There we go. Go on with it to do your job. Thank you. Okay, so there's more to do around here than just going into the cave. You can see along here. Okay. That takes us to the Neverwinter wood, which we already know has got some problems. The animals being really weird. Okay, we'll be going to the mine quite a bit later on for a quest. But since we are standing right next to it, we might as well go in and take down some of the mobs that are inside. Because everything that gets us a little bit closer to leveling up is a good thing. But we've also got up here. Let's see some more animals. Polar bear. What on earth is a polar bear doing here? I have really got no idea. Let's see how much it likes having ice on. Well, it didn't seem to enjoy that very much. I just shot two. Well, that wasn't very nice of me. But hey, these things happen. Yummy, roast pork. Okay, now we're at chapter 1. We're in the position in the game where most of our trash mob kills are going to give us virtually no experience to speak of. I mean, yes, the experience you get reduces when you've got a whole load of things like summoned animals and your henchmen and your familiar and stuff like that. But it really wouldn't make much of a difference at this point. So, although we leveled up quite quickly to start with, we're now going to find it takes a lot longer to gain new levels, simply because the amount of experience we're receiving is ridiculous. And you can see here the amount that I need to get. There's 6,500 experience, which, you know, doesn't sound like a huge amount compared to what it could have been, but when we're gaining things like 7 experience from mob kill, that's going to take a very long time indeed. So let's just recharge the batteries a bit. Okay, any minute now we're going to find a whole load of goblins to attack. So I think the best thing to do would be to just buff up a little bit. That spell looks looking fairly safe at the moment. Didn't have to take care of anything we're about to run into anyway. Okay, off we go. Oh, healer's already spotted someone. Well, more roast pig, anybody? Yummy. And here we have a whole bunch of goblins. So let's just pull a whole load of goblins. And when we do that, throw down cloud kill. And they all die because their saving throws are pretty awful. But that's not the only goblins in the area. We need to go take care of a few more. There we go, a whole bunch more goblins. Let's stink them up. And then freeze them. Pretty comprehensively well done job, I say. Going back to something that I said quite a few videos ago about how NWN1 handles scaling with regards to mob threat. In the past when I've played this game, I've run around here and I found basically boars and a couple of bears. But we just saw there was a jaguar. And this is how the game handles that problem. It looks at how strong you are, your level, and whatever, and then it'll modify the mobs to be appropriate to that, and then it'll introduce a few more of them. So, like we saw going back into the docks district, where a room that normally would have just had a few fire beetles actually had a whole lot of spiders in. It's the same thing here. We'll expect to get slightly harder, slightly more different mobs, and in larger quantities. It keeps the game at a position where you're still receiving decent threat, which is good because there's a lot of games where they just don't do that and then it becomes just a walkthrough. And that was a problem that I had playing World of Warcraft for quite a long time, was that once you get to a certain level, all the other areas you still have to go and complete. None of the mobs in them are remotely a threat and you just one-shot them, and it just becomes a bit tedious. I don't think NWN1's approach to that is necessarily the best. I actually prefer games where you scale down to the level of the mobs in the area. It just makes things a little more interesting. But certainly, this is an appropriate approach. But since I'm playing a wizard and we've already seen, I'm at the stage now where I'm actually killing things I don't want to be killing because my damage is so high. I think we need to be looking at maybe scaling things down a bit with regards to what I'm doing, and perhaps I ought to be getting rid of things like henchmen now, make it a little bit more of a challenge for myself. But of course, that would help with the experience issue because having no henchmen means I would be getting more experience per kill. Always useful stuff. I'll be very glad once I start getting an item that has permanent haste on it. It does seem awfully slow running around without it. Any more goblins to kill here? No more goblins to kill? No more goblins. Okay. Okay, well I know what I'm coming up against once, so I think this is a good time to adjust the spellbook a little bit. Not a huge amount in there that I want to be dispelling, and magic circle against alignment isn't much of an issue for me at this point because I don't think there's much in there that's going to have anything that can do mind controlling abilities. And I think I just really want to basically maximize out my damage at this point. So I think I'll get rid of my lightning bolt and throw in a couple of negative energy bursts there to make a bit of a difference. There we go. I'm happy with those. And yeah, I actually think putting in a couple more cloud kills would suit the way I like to play. All of which is extremely bad with regards to how the character of Harry Dresden would actually work. He doesn't tend to throw around things like necromantic magic much, but I'm trying to steer clear of using fire spells and only using cold and that sort of thing, so I'm still staying relatively within the theme that I set myself when I started the challenge. And so far it's worked out extremely well. Okay, well, before we go in, let's just buff up everybody again. Very nice. If the game at any point looks like it's frozen, that's just because I've had to tab out from the game window into a different window, and that pauses the game slightly. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. Sometimes you just have to. I need to tweak my desktop, Streamlabs, and so forth. And still remembering that that horrendous bug exists in this particular version of the game. So remember to save in the main game slot. Like I said a while back, if you just use quick save in the enhanced edition after you've played for several hours, the game will crash. And when it crashes, you will lose all of your play that's been saved in quick save. So, if you've had an epic gaming session and you've done like 5, 6, 7 hours of play, and you've forgotten to use the normal save slot, you will save the game, and in the quick save, it'll crash, you come back, and you will have lost all of that playtime. So just keep on saving it into the main save slot. Doing it every half an hour or so is usually a very good idea. Okay, off we go. This is going to take a little bit of time and tediousness just because there's so many things that need to be unlocked. But Tutu here seems to be having trouble unlocking some things, and I'm not entirely sure why, because his skill in unlocking and disposing of traps should be extremely good at the moment. This doesn't seem to want to open. There are pathing issues a little bit sometimes in this game where you have to be standing at the right place. There we go. How we do that encumbrance? So far, so good. And this is what I mean. I can just stand back and let these guys take everything on. So the game has become just a little bit on the easy side for me now, so I need to be doing something to make it a little bit harder. Okay. Let's deal with these guys appropriately. Or I would do, if they hadn't gone sanctuary themselves, that's better. Have a little fire kill. That's one hell of a spell. I've read a considerable number of different guides for this game down the 20 years or so I've been playing it. And I've seen all sorts of people on message boards complaining about using spells like Cloud Kill. Because they say that they're no good because you're forced to use save and you've got spell resistance or whatever. I say that you shouldn't be using any spell that has both of those because it's guaranteed you won't kill things. I've never seen the truth of that. For the most part, trash mobs, you can have no problem killing them with a spell that still has a spell resistance level on it because they're just so weak. And it saves a lot of time to clear everything out in one go. Oh, more of those, which are extremely annoying. A lot more orcs. Let's just freeze their nuts off. And I know you're in here somewhere. Shaman, where are you? There you are. Well, I really shouldn't be just shooting, but when he's got a sanctuary up like that, actually targeting with spells doesn't work, which is ferociously annoying. Of course, if you're playing something like a warrior or anything that is mostly a melee class, somebody using sanctuary to sort of hide themselves in those circumstances is completely pointless. Right. One of the really annoying aspects of the way that this game is designed is the encumbrance issues you get, and each one of these throwing axes, as you can see, it's worth one, and if you've got a whole stack of them, you're carrying around these axes, and that's, in my case, that's like 2/3 of my encumbrance is just a stack of axes. It's really aggravating, and it's something that they did away with in Neverwinter Nights 2. They decided to make axes extremely light, which I was very pleased about. Once I've run through this campaign, I may well go and run a Neverwinter Nights 2 run for the original campaign just to show some of the fundamental differences and improvements they made to the game. Not everything they did in the game, of course, was an improvement. There were quite a few things that I wasn't very happy about. Okay, rather than going through here into that big room there, what I want to do is clear out around here first. So what I'm going to do is go back out through the way I came in. And then just, there's a whole path that runs all the way around here. I want to clear out everything in that path and everything inside it before I head down here. As you come down here, you start to head towards the mob areas where I can find bosses. And I'd like just to pick up the XP and some of the items there first. Off we go. So we'll go in one of the other directions first. I'm not quite sure which one would be best. But let's just have a sit down and a renewal of my spells. Okay, well I know as soon as I go down there I'm going to get attacked. So it's time to buff everybody up again. If you look at the Pixie, we've noticed so far in the game that Pixie's actually been doing quite a lot of damage and killing things, even though it has such a tiny amount of damage here. It's quite strange, because when you consider that, yes, it does get sneak attack, but it only gets 1d6 and sneak attack never improves, unlike the Panther. But I think it's probably down to the fact that I've been putting flame weapon on it that's really helped. Although, you don't actually get to see that on the Pixie itself. There's no sign of the flaming animation. But at this point... Come on. Yeah, 1d4 fire plus 1 per caster level. So... it's doing 1d4 plus 9 fire on each hit. So it's... for such a small and relatively weak combatant, he's actually doing quite a lot of damage. Let's just get all these guys. There you see. Down they all go. Let's get these guys down. And yeah, this is one of the spells that I've seen so many people say you shouldn't use because they're not effective. I just don't understand where they're coming from with that. Never underestimate the value of a decent low-level spell. That's one of the game tips, and it's absolutely accurate. So I've never really run Magic User through this campaign before. I tend to play very much heavy armor melee characters most of the time. But I'm being extremely pleased with the performance of this so far. I think it was around about level 6 where the wizard really came into their own and started becoming the unstoppable glass cannon. ridiculously high damage levels that you would normally expect to find in a D&D based mage. Okay, let's head off down this way. Okay, some more of these fellas. Oh, we want to get rid of them, so let's Infugia. Proper decent Harry doesn't attack there. Chill the living hell out of them. Oh, they found somebody else to hit. Anyone else down there? Yeah, here they come. Goblin Elite. Okay, Goblin Elite, we're going to need to hit a little bit harder. Oh, did the job right enough. You see, 1 hit took away 50% of that Goblin's life. Admittedly, I only ever bring the pixie along when I'm doing this sort of thing because, well, opening locks and disabling traps so you don't have to take the really aggravating halfling. There's another shaman. Well, let's just get rid of him. Okay, come back. Let's try that again. Stay in the same place. There we are.
Ha! A most palpable touch.
Another Goblin Elite. Which goes back to what I was saying before about scaling the game. I'm not getting normal goblins, I'm getting more Goblin Elites because I'm a lot tougher.
Oh, ha ha!
And there's another one. Who, quite sensibly, is actually hiding out of the way because he doesn't have anything to do with me. Onwards and upwards. It's just feed up it. Always worth doing, just keep you familiar as to high in health as you can. One more goblin. He's just a normal squishy goblin. And this is where we could use another cloud kill quite effectively. Toot toot, kill Goblin Elite. Toot toot, kill Goblin Elite. Okay, as you can see, we're going quite around the outside. So that's where we were standing before when we decided to go back out. So we want to complete our route round there. Here come the goblins.
Take you now!
Yeah, we're getting 3 points for a normal goblin. Given that we need 6,500 points to level up, it's going to take a very long time if we're just grinding away. Starting to run out of combat spells now. There's a whole load more of them here. Another stinking cloud would probably be a very good idea at this point. Yeah, running out of combat spells is always going to be a problem. And that should have cleared out most of the goblins. There may still be just another couple up right at the very end of the passage. But I can't really afford to do anything else until I've rested and got my spells back. At this point I'm starting to look like a very, very useless mage. A wizard with no magic is no wizard at all. And finding a spot in here to be able to rest is going to be difficult. Because there's lots of mobs in all the rooms around here. There we go. Okay, since we're right next to it, let's go in here. Well, we should be able to find, hopefully, the goblin boss. Another shaman hanging there. Okay, whatever is lurking in there has heard the fuss. Come to do something about it. So if we drop a cloud kill down right now. Without a cone cold. So we've got 264 for the Chief Goblin, that's not too bad. It's quite satisfactory. And it's pretty much guaranteed that these chests are all going to be trapped. If we keep this up, it shouldn't take too long to level up. Which would be great, because then I can pick up my next Meta Magic feat. You can just do this fella in.
Liable to leave a scar.
A bit mean, but 3 experience points. Hardly worth the effort, really. So that's the Goblin Chief now dealt with. But we've still got orcs, ogres and bugbears in here. Let's just head this way and finish off around here. Okay, some more to deal with. Clerical. Well, that is very aggravating. The shaman went invisible just at the point I cast the spell, so the spell was used up, but it didn't actually get cast.
Victory will be ours!
Come on, Toot, open the chest. There's a good pixie. It wasn't already been down there. No, there's nothing left down there to kill.
Stand still so I can hit you.
Whoosh. And once more, it's a good time to sit down and rejuvenate my spells once I get far away from the enemies. There we go. This cave network is fairly extensive, and usually when I'm playing this game I end up having to walk at a snail's pace because of the sheer amount of gear I end up carrying, but I'm hoping having these extra magic bags will make a big difference with that. There's one thing I am not is particularly sure on. Okay, let's see where we go next. We've already cleared out this room down here, so we should go there next, I think. Before we go any further, it's buff time. I'm pretty sure there was a goblin here earlier. There it is. Onwards, onwards, onwards. The wolf.
In the name of Sammy and Moonbow!
Okay, dude, come on, deal with the truck, thank you. So we're done with all this stuff up here. Greater gloves of discipline. Well, I'm going to hang on to those. So I'll replace my normal gloves of discipline, which I've got somewhere. No, I've got them somewhere. Come on. Where are they? No, I already have greater gloves of discipline. Okay, fine. It's probably not a bad idea for me to consider changing out some of my gear at this point. I'm not likely to get poisoned or anything of that sort here at the moment. None of my special gear here is actually going to do me much good at this point in time. Well, they're all giving me +1 to various stats, but as you can see on my stats, that +1 isn't actually going to raise my modifiers. So I might as well hang on to things the way they are. Okay, down here, there's going to be plenty more for me to be attacking. Okay. On we go. Lots and lots going on down here. The orcs and the goblins are fighting each other, which makes a pleasant change for me.
Ortano for Digyamar. Ortano for Digyamar.
Come on, Toot Toot. Follow the bidding of the Tsar Lord. Open the box. Give me spells I already know. Since I've got it open, let's have a look and see what spells I've got that I can cast at the moment. The only one I really want to cast on scroll anytime soon is going to be that one. I'm not even sure I can, if I cast sound first. No, it's not going to let me do that, fair enough. What's in the garbage? And as you can see, we've actually already been in this room as we came down through here. And there were mobs that was killed. Now that we've gone through here, more mobs have spawned. So we might as well deal with them.
Ortano for Digyamar.
A lot more mobs spawned. Unfortunately, there was no extra loot spawning. Next up, there's different ways we can go. That way will lead us down to the next level, which we will want to do obviously at some point, but we're going to go around this way first, just because of the room here. We can clear out the XP and the loot. And if we go along this way, we'll eventually end up over here, which is where all the orc leaders are hanging out. But it would probably actually be better for us to go back the way we came. Because if we go back through here, we can run down through the other room we haven't opened yet. Let's see what we have in here.
Victory will be ours!
Stink them all up a bit. Well, that was my own fault for going too quickly. There we go. That's a very annoying spell. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to find a lot of mobs along this corridor. There we go. Mobs galore. Nino, he's right there. There we go, finally. It's a very strange way for the AI to behave, really. They're insisting that most of these orcs and goblins and things, they're shamans, the first thing they do is cast sanctuary so that you can't see them or hurt them. Which just slows the game down, because inevitably when it wears off you're going to attack them. It just postpones it. It would make more sense if they did that and then they ran off and did something else. But they don't, they just stand around and do nothing. Slowly but surely we're getting better. Okay, well, there's more mobs down there. We'll go and deal with them immediately. And of course, because they've wandered in range, it stopped us resting. Okay, buffing up again. It's very tedious to have to keep on doing this, but it's better than dying. We're starting to collect a very good array of potions as well, but as a rule I tend not to use them until I absolutely need them, such as boss fights. At the moment we're doing quite well, and the game seems to be easy enough as it is. More orc. Okay, more orcs. Let's deal with the orcs. And another aggravating shaman. Not having point blank shot makes me dealing with these guys far more difficult than it should be. And there'll undoubtedly be a bunch of guys in here waiting for me. If I can get over here, I can probably hit them all at the same time. Like, I never even knew of it. It's a shame that you can't pass on some of this looted gear onto your hench people. It's a facility that you pick up in Shadows of Undrentide as the first expansion. Right. Once we get down here, we're going to start encountering quite a lot of mobs. And I'm not sure how often we're going to get a chance to renew our spells, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm fully renewed before I dive in. Off we go. I wonder if there's any real point keeping that acid arrow up. Might actually be better off just sticking my cloud up and rolling it back up. No, nothing. Yeah, the flame weapon doesn't show up on the sheets, but we can see from the damage output that they do actually have it active.
Stand still so I can hit you.
Victory will be ours!
That's fairly typical that Toot will go and get rid of something. That's a threat after you've actually passed it and don't need him to do that anymore.
Ortano for Digyama. Ortano for Digyama. Ortano for Digyama.
Well, Toot did that all by himself. So in here, there's some fun things. If you consider being attacked fun. So we just want to be over here.
Ha! A most palpable touch.
Victory will be ours!
Well, I'm trying to lure them into my cloud kill, but it looks like they're just not going to play ball. And two got nuked, losing me a whole 5 hit points in the process. It looks like the game's being a little bit iffy. I should be able to resummon him, but he thinks he's already summoned. But I'll be having a sit down in a second, but I'll bring him back. I do seem to be collecting quite an array of really unpleasant necromancy spells. Which is exactly the kind of thing that would get the character of Harry Dresden into some pretty serious trouble. Okay, that is very strange. For whatever reason, I'm not able to resummon my familiar. And I really should be able to do that. So I think I'm just going to see if jumping back here will make any difference. No, apparently that's not going to make any difference. So let me just save that. And reload. See if that made any difference. Yep, there we go. Not a book I've ever encountered before. And since we're here, we might as well empty our bags in an entirely non-euphemistic sense of the word. Those quartz crystals are, again, they're reagents, which I will end up wanting at some point. But I have quite a lot of them now, so I don't think I'm going to use all the ones I've got. But they are used in several of the spells for crafting various items in a tourist lab. But they also take up quite a lot of backspace. Definitely want rid of those. Don't think I need more than 10 stacks of those. Yes, that's rather a lot of quartz. I think 6 is more than enough for what I want to do. Okay, there's a negative energy ray. We can stick that down there. So what? We can't use it. I'm never going to want that. Might want to use that at some point. Just a little bit of housekeeping as I go along. Okay, that's all right. Let's go and sell these traps.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Can't afford that yet, but that's really what I'm aiming at for my next purchase. From this chapter onwards, you'll start to face things that will definitely be hitting you with level drains. The Greater Shadows do that, and it is extremely annoying. There we go, we got 2 back. More buff time. There's an awful lot going on down here. On we go, more orcs to kill. Lots more orcs to kill. I'm quite impressed by how alive this orc managed to stay. Hurrah! On we go. The Orc King is through that door. And he's got a couple of fairly meaty bruises with him. So before I go in there, I'm just going to make sure that Toot is fully fed. There we go, give him some pizza, that's what he likes best. There we go. Alright, you lot. That certainly taught him a lesson.
In the name
Well, I hope these guys drop a little bit better loot than that.
This pack is heavier than I am.
Yeah. Wizards are not known for their carrying capacity. So what did we get here? Showing that. Two-sided sword. Not much use to me, but it all sells. More reagents. Mass haste. Now that is definitely a spell I want. Can't use it yet, but I will be learning that as soon as I possibly can. Which should be in the next couple of levels or so. I can't quite remember exactly when I level up to 6 spells, but it'll be shortly. And there's our ogre. He shouldn't be too much of a problem. Well, he lasted a little longer than I thought he would. Well, you got to the Orc King's treasure room, so hopefully he'll have something worth stealing in here. Well, so far I'm not really impressed. Aha! Well, it's generally speaking, it's not a bad staff to have, but I'm not really playing defensively. So I think I'll be selling that. And it would have made a great deal more sense if one of the shamans had actually been using that. They might have survived a bit longer. Well, I am extremely unimpressed with what the Orc King had as his treasure. And that accounts for everything on the first level. That's not so bad. That is a couple of thousand experience points. So I'm not going to complain. Well, we've got a couple of levels of the cave still to go. And somewhere in here, we're going to find a clue about the cult. In case you've forgotten why we're here in the first place. And we should also be looking for the farmer's wife. we're going into an area in a minute that's going to have bugbears in. One of the aggravating characteristics of bugbears is that some of them tend to do knockdown damage. So, I'm going to use a little bit of common sense and put on my gloves of discipline. That's going to reduce my concentration a little bit to take off those gloves. But I haven't been interrupted by anything so far, so I'm willing to take the risk. I'll get my concentration up to as far as I can. But those extra points in discipline could just be a lifesaver. Okay, well, we can see there's some mobs over there already. So, up go the buffs. Okay, is he going to attack, or is he going to deal with that trap? He's going to attack and fall into the trap. Well done, Toot. Wow. That was an extremely wimpy bugbear. He was one-shot killed by a wizard who didn't use a spell. It looks like we got some more our little friends coming out there. Let's stink them out. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there was more around here. There they are. Best just to clear our way. See, there's going to be a lot of loot we can pick up. But before we do that, we want to go in here. This is where the bugbear key is. We want to get rid of him. That's the same way that we did with the orc. In fact, in exactly the same way that we did with the orc. Well, 315 points. Excellent work. What do you reckon? Do you think his loot is going to be better than the orcs? I'm not going to put any money on that. I want a negative energy. Okay, fair enough. That's a lot better than anything the orcs gave me.
This pack is heavier than I am.
Much as I could use strength right now. I think I'm going to stick with my sash of chivalry. Why did you say that? Got my teeth around it. I'll take the one of negative energy though. And it won't be doing huge amounts of damage. Yeah, it's only going to be doing a tiny amount of damage. But sometimes when you're out of spells and desperate, a wand is always good to have around. Technically, yes, it isn't an item that Harry Dresden would ever consider using. Zapping out a magic wand with negative energy in it would be a major no-no. But he's also known to do what is expedient. And sometimes when you've got no choice, you have to turn to the dark arts. And then off you go, riding around Chicago on an enormous dinosaur zombie. Okay, we can see from our map. The way to the next level is down there. I'm just going to go clear out these rooms now anyway, because I'm right next to them. Let's get that bugbear warrior. Let's see. That was an exceptionally well-placed spell. It's about time we renewed our spells. I really need to get my intelligence up a little bit further. I want the extra spell slots. But fortunately, in Chapter 2, we should be able to pick up some kind of intelligence plus 2 items. There's probably some of you already seen in the shops. Let's just make sure I've got it saved in the right slot. On we go. More bugbears. More vodka.
Goddess, take you now!
Bugbear torture. It's a bit mean. But nobody said that Harry Dresden had to be nice. And here we are, the farmer's wife. So that's that quest done. We'll go back. Fire the farmer and see if he's prepared to pay up. I do wish I spoke Pixie. I'd love to know what to say. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was something along the lines of, please give me more pizza. These bugbears are all just a little bit too spread out to worthwhile in their effect spell. Well, there do seem to be rather a lot of them.
Victory will be ours!
They're not what you'd call much of a threat.
In the name of Sanin Moonbow!
Well, if they've quite finished... Their exit. Well, there's the irony. The pixie that I bring along to do with the traps just got killed by a trap. Well, this time I am going to throw down the cloud kit. Welcome back, Chip. Sorry you ended up dead. Please go and deal with this trap. Sometime today would be nice. Still not good enough to buy us that pendant. Okay, so through this door down here, we're going to find something slightly more interesting than just a room full of bugbears. It's a room full of bugbears in a very special way. That's interesting. I appear we've got greater spell penetration there, but without having taken spell penetration to begin with. Okay. Okay, we want this guy to be taken down as quickly as possible. That'll do nicely. So by killing him, he wasn't able to run and open any of these cages, which are full of wild animals. Not that I have any particular reason to be afraid of these cages full of wild animals.
Goddess, take you now!
It does just make it a little bit easier to pick them off one by one. Admittedly, I have enough air and hack spells that I could probably have done just as well if they had all come in at the same time. But playing it safe is never a bad idea. I'm not sure if we'll actually hit 10th level before we get out of this particular cave network. Okay, next thing I want to do is just do a cloud kill down here. Then watch piggies. Are they going to die? No. Piggies are much better at surviving, it seems, than your average goblin. Toot's looking a little bit on the worse for wear side. It's clearly not had enough pizza. Of course, anybody who hasn't read any of the Harry Dresden novels has absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So, yeah, we have taken care of everything on this level. That went really quite quickly. We can run down to the third and final level. Where we hopefully will find the clue that we're looking for with regards to where on earth the cult are. But we'll also find the ogre chieftain. And I'd just like to hope that his treasure is a lot better than the treasure that the orcs or the bugbears are carrying. On we go.
Young Tetrak Blush. Young Tetrak Blush.
On we go. I should have watched where I was going. Now we've got some slightly tougher enemies down here. We've got Goblin fighters.
Stand still so I can hit you.
This is where the real elite are. There's a chap in here who they can fill you in on a little bit of the plot and whatever, but all they're going to tell you is that the ogres and the orcs and the goblins are just choosing their most powerful fighters to come down and be part of some kind of conspiracy.
I don't recognize you. Have you come to finish what the...
I don't see any particular reason for keeping this guy alive. 3 experience points, that's magnificent. Right, once more I'm going over here. Throw me down a fire kill. A couple of them even managed to survive. Very temporarily. Pizza time! We are making pretty short work of all these guys. I think we should go down here and clear out this area before we go after the boss. Plenty of things to walk into a cloud kit. Do that job, Pixie. As you can see, this is where the final boss is. So we've got very little distance to go now. I want to have a sit down and a rest before I go in there. Obviously, you don't want to go into a boss with half the spells missing. And of course, running into that other room is to respawn some of these guys.
In the name of Sammy!
It's a chest too, you're supposed to open it. Okay, that's where the boss is. So before we go in there, I'm just going to tweak my spells a little bit. I'm going to put a Dispel Magic into one of my third slots. And it looks like I should also remember to get that over there. I'm walking around with advanced black tentacles. I completely forgot that I had it. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why my credits have started to roll. I certainly didn't tell them to. So let's just hide those. Only 3,000 to go now. So this room will be filled with York Chieftain, member of the cult, and various mundane trash mobs. First things first, jump in here and do the usual drop a crab kill, and then drop some black tentacles. Oh, well. That was quite nice. Let's see how their loot compares. Unfortunately, Two's got himself nuked again. Let's just bring him back. So there we go. We've got the head of the ogre. So we can take that back and tell people that the ogres are now dealt with. And we've got ourselves Gannon's journal, which gives information on where the cult is. So, all things said, we've done really quite well there. What else did we get? Well, we got Savian Circlet, which we definitely want to try on. As you can see. Let's see what that does for our spell slots. There we go, there's another second level spell slot. Not magnificent, but, you know, it helps. So hopefully these hand-ins will get us just that little bit closer to hitting 10th level, which is kind of a milestone. Okay, how does the ogre's loot compare? Well, the ogre had Brawler's Belt and a couple of potions. So none of the main boss loot in this particular dungeon was that great, but, you know, I'm not going to complain unduly. It's a lot better than getting nothing at all. And there we are. That's all now being completed. Let's go and have a chat with the farmer, who'll be very glad that his wife's back.
Well, hello, dear. Were you the one?
Okay, I kind of just shook him down there for a little bit of extra loot. But those two quests between them gave me a rather delicious 500 experience. Now, I'm not going to go back to the mercenaries barracks in Courtlass just yet. it would be slightly better for me to go up to where I next want to do my big quest, and then use the Stone of Recall. Save myself a little bit of time running backwards and forwards. 14,000, still quite a way to go before I can buy up that amulet of health. I just want to play it a little bit safe. I should really have thrown another spell in there before I sat down, never mind. Okay, so here we are. New area. This is the Green Griffin Inn, which we will be entering and dealing with in a very small amount of time. It took us just a little bit short of 2 hours to do all those caves. Let's just explore the area before we go in anywhere. Okay, so down here, up here there's a crypt. Crypt full, fairly understandably full of undead. And we want to be doing that fairly soon. A couple of walks. Okay, nothing else around there. And if memory serves me well, this has something to do with the werewolves. Well, it is indeed full of wolves. There is a doggy. I can't do anything with the doggy. Unlike all the bugbears, I'm also not inclined to hurt the doggy. Left to myself, I wouldn't hurt the wolves either, but they don't really give me much of an option. Okay, there's not actually a lot to do in here. This is the cave where you will find, eventually, the lead werewolf, once you complete the rest of the elements of that particular quest. That's not going to happen for quite some time yet, though. But since we're in the vicinity, I thought we might as well run in and steal all his loot while he's not here. Not much experience really for doing all that, but every little helps. Hello, doggy. And the same to you. I'm not going to go herring off after the zombies just yet. And this is Luskin. We'll be heading up there once we've completed everything with regards to finding information on the cult. That's as far north as you can go.
Victory will be ours!
And that's just about everything you can do outside in this area. There are a bunch of guards there who don't actually seem very inclined to stop me robbing the place. What you doing, Tubes? Anything else to take around here? No, Nothing down there?
Hey there, dear. What can I...
A few animals. Nothing much of interest in here. There's Solomon again, that annoying little halfling.
You better stop looking into this cult business.
We come in here.
Hi, handsome. How'd the day?
What'll you have then?
Okay, Zamithra has got one of the gems that you're looking for. So I've just managed to pick her up in the pub. And we're going to head upstairs for a bit of a wild time. But it's going to be a bit of a different wild time to the time she was expecting. Just going to pop up my spells. It's worthwhile putting your armor on. Remember, everybody, when you go upstairs with a random strange person in a pub, always take protection. Here we go.
Now that my annoying guards are out of earshot, why don't you come and talk to me, honey?
She's not very happy about that at all. No, I'm not throwing my big spells at her, because I'm going to use them on someone else in a minute. Now that's a very useful item. Scabbard of Blessing. Well, I'm definitely going to keep using that. Okay, before I go any further, let's use Bless. I think we should line up a little more here in the way of buffing. Because inside here, We're going to come face to face with one of the escaped prisoners. Okay, we open that door. I drop down a couple of spells. There he is. Zor. Zor is a minotaur. And he's not an especially pleasant individual. Excuse me.
We stop fighting now! This is you, brave warrior. Me wants talk moment before we fight. You!
I don't feel overly inclined to let him go. Couple of useful little things. Got his ears, that's the first bounty we can hand in when we go back to the barracks. Someone around here is snoring like an absolute hog. Open the box. What's in the box? Okay, potion. I was expecting Gwyneth Paltrow's head, but there you go. Cut up everything. Now, that's not the only thing you can get doing this in. Downstairs there is a whole dungeon that you can crawl through, and it has no major bearing on any of the actual plot, but it's fun just to do a dungeon crawl. So let's go and take care of that. Or at least sign up for it before I go and put back in hand into more of these quests, and see how close that gets me to leveling up. Now, before he will let you in, you actually have to talk to somebody else, and then the dungeon exists. Yep, he doesn't want to talk to me.
Hi, hello there.
Okay, I have to bribe the other little dwarf. But at least you spilled the beans. Now we know that we've got this thing to do. Let's go sign up for it.
The Green Griffin Inn, friend. Something I can get you.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we've looted his pub enough. Let's go do some hand-ins. Okay, we don't have anything for him at this point.
This will work out yet. Everything happens for a reason, it does.
Hand in the gem quest.
Have you had any...
Okay, that's a one quest hand in it. There's Kendrick. We can give him Zor's ear.
Feels good to see you.
I'm not really very persuasive anymore. That probably needs to be dealt with. Well, another 125 XP. Well, we're getting nice and close to leveling up now.
The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success, may the luck.
I am pleased. Have you yet discovered any new information on... This is good news. So the cult was responsible for stirring up the humanoids in the hills? You are to be commended for putting an end to that danger in... While this fortunate... Have you found... Then I wish you luck.
Okay. Annoyingly, no extra experience for that.
Hey there, dear. What can I do?
Let's just quickly cycle through all this.
Hey there, dear. What can...
See if we can pick up her quests.
Hey there, dear.
Will she give me the full quest? Nope, I need to level up before I can pick up any further quests from the henchmen. Fair enough. There's nothing else I can do right now with regards to handing anything in. So I'm going to spend just a little time selling all this stuff and seeing if I can buy that amulet.
Hey, I'll take it!
Excuse me, indeed. Lots of tedious stuff to go over. We're creeping ever closer to that score where we can finally buy the thing. And we definitely want it before we go down into the green griffin basement. Let's just swap back. There we go. Do a little bit more housekeeping. Don't really think we need any more of those. Okay, let's clear out everything. We can more than comfortably afford the amulet of health now. Which makes us immune to level drain, and that's going to become very important fairly soon. But we still have 19,000 left. And we're likely to level up very slowly. So let's have a word with the wizard and see if she's got any wonderful stuff we can afford now. Quite specifically, the gold circuit.
Well, hello. Have you exciting news for...
Golden circlet. Okay, that costs 27,500 gold. Can't quite afford that yet, which is a bit of a shame. She doesn't sell Greater Adventurer's Robe, which is also a shame. I would quite like to have that. So I better save up. I think that will be my next purchase. Should be the golden circlet. It doesn't give us the +2 to intelligence that we get from the Fabian circlet, but immunity to mind affecting spells is a pretty big deal. Make a bigger concentration and saving throw from almost anywhere. And another ring of clear thought would make up for the loss of the Fabian circlet, or to replace the one we've got. Same with another ring of resistance. Now we could just hop back using our Stone of Recall, but I actually think it's worthwhile just taking a walk back to the Green Griffin, because we may well run into Solomon again, and this time he might actually try to kill us. I'm not entirely sure how much that encounter is going to get us in terms of experience. Probably not quite enough, but it takes us just that little bit closer to leveling up. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Farmer. There's Solomon here. This is usually where we would encounter him. There he is, indeed. So before he can get too obstreperous, let's just throw down a couple of spells.
I shall strike you down! I'll cut you down! Take that, fool!
So, no, that didn't really go for much experience at all. But there's some more evidence about the cult. And a wolf. Just a random wolf.
Victory will be ours!
Oh, more goblins. I thought I killed all of them. I'm sorry about that, Toot. We ended up killing you again. We did appear to have spawned a whole new batch of goblins, which is quite fun.
In the name of Sanin Moonbow! Goddess, take you now!
Are there any more? It doesn't look like it, no. So, that was a pleasant surprise. Oh, look, another wolf. My mistake, it was a warg. Let's just get our spells back. Level 499 experience required before we level up. Still going to be quite a way if we're still only getting a very small number of XP for each mob kill. I'm thinking before we actually jump into the Green Griffin, I'm thinking I'm going to go and clear out the crypt. Now that I've picked up the amulet that prevents me from being hit with level drain, it actually becomes a viable way to grab just some quick experience. And of course, having our charity carpenter replacement along with us makes a huge difference here. As they're turning of undead makes a huge difference. It's a very good way to get a lot of experience very quickly. Just run into a bunch of undead, turn undead, and woof. Which is a very technical term for I've just gained a lot of experience very quickly. As you can see, the crypt is absolutely packed full of them. But I will need to swap out my spell before I go in there. Because I am using quite a few spells that have mind affecting properties. And of course the undead don't have any minds to affect. So, Cloud of Bewilderment. Definitely don't want to take negative energy in there with me, that will just heal them. Cloud Kill, likewise no use. Makes a big difference. Load more electric lips. Third level spells. As per by following the rules that I set myself, I won't be taking flame spells. There's nothing to stop me taking a whole bunch more lightning bolts. Just try and keep this nice and tidy. So once I level up 1d6 plus 10, it's be 10d6 of damage roll. Let's go to object to that. Ice Storm is currently doing decent damage. Currently doing 6d6 plus 2d6. with 8d6 of damage total from the improvised storm. Whereas the missile storm now level up will be doing damage. That would also be doing 10d6 of damage. And the tentacles. On d6 plus 4. So that would be 5d6 plus 4 in general. So I think we'll take out those for now. Throwing a missile storm. Just for the sake of variety. So what do we need? I like to try and keep this thing relatively tiny. 5th level spells. I actually think throwing in an extended haste for buffing would be a fairly solid idea at this point. So that's consolidating my spells a little bit. Always keeping a dispel on hand, as there's probably something in there that would be used. And with a bit of luck, I will actually level up, if not before I get into the crypt itself, but very shortly afterwards. Okay, the game is afoot. Yes, I really shouldn't have done that, I suppose. I think actually keeping a couple of slots open for framework was probably a good idea. Okay, nothing.
Miyong Tetrak Blush. Miyong Tetrak Blush.
Onwards. Okay, so we can see right from the start what is going on here. It would have been a lot more helpful
Ortano,
if the healer had just gone straight ahead and actually turned undead. That would have been quite useful. But sometimes the AI is a bit dumb. Well, they just turned undead. Finally.
Ortano,
In the name of Sailing Moonbow!
Ortano, Fortigiamo!
That wasn't so hard. I think on reflection, that the missile storm wasn't really necessary. And that setup looks a lot more akin to a proper Harry Dresden build anyway. With the usefulness of all the cold spells. Alright. $294 XP until I level up. Now I noticed that the healer's turning dead. It's rebuking, but it wasn't killing. So I'm hoping that once we level up, that will change. There you go, there's some more kills rather than rebuking. Rebuking is a lot more annoying than just turning undead. Things just run away and you have to chase them down. Like that. For the most part, undead don't drop any loot.
Ortano, Fortigiamo!
That's taken us a great deal closer to leveling up.
Ortano, Fortigiamo!
And here we go. That was rather convenient, the way the skeletons just lined up like that. Large ball. More silence. And just out here, we find some interesting things. A caught hand. As yet, completely useless to us. But that caught hand is the special item that the monk wants for Chapter 2 to satisfy his quests. I can't actually turn it in yet, but hopefully once I've just done this leveling up, I will be able to do precisely that. Okay. Let's do the thing. As before, we're going with just wizard. Okay, well, we're always going to want some concentration. I've been having real trouble recently with some of my interactions. But my persuade is as high as it's ever going to get. Until I level up again. Same with tumble. Likewise, my discipline. So I'm going to just throw a load more into heal. I've got plenty of potions, so I don't worry about the healing in that sense, but it's often useful to have that just in case you need to worry about removing diseases and so forth. Hopefully I won't get any, but there's going to be times where I won't be able to use the Amulet of Health, so I will need to put a different one on, and then I will be vulnerable. Well, we got our free meta magic feat. I'm almost tempted to go with Still Spell, because then I can wear some heavier armor if I take the relevant feat. But that would really be how interesting would do things. That increases spell effects by 50%. I think I'm going to go with an Empower spell. Okay. Level 5 spells I can take at this point. There's quite a few nice ones. Of course, fire spell I'm not going to be taking. So I think Ball Lightning will be my main choice. Although it would be possible for me to take knock and find traps. So I could take a better competent. That's my familiar. But for the moment, I'm quite satisfied with how I've got everything set up. So I think the minor global vulnerability would be my choice here. Again, I'm sticking with Pixie. There we go. I need another 10,000 XP to level up again. Let's just have a bit of a play around with my spellbook. So, ball lightning. (15d6) potential damage. Code rolls also 15d6 potential damage. I think I'll swap those out and see how well they perform against each other. Throw my open vulnerability in there. Because that is almost certainly going to come in useful very shortly. I'll do more extended haste. And I'm pretty satisfied with how that's built up.
Hey there, dear. What can I do for you? Hey there, dear.
Okay, I've now got everything I need out of my henchman, or henchwoman, I should say. So I can start finding the items and handing them over. Now, I really need to sit down and have a bit of a rest, but there's far too many people near me to do that, so I'm just going to pop outside so I can sit down and renew my spells. And while I'm at it, see if I can learn some of these. Nothing there I can learn. I did pick up Feeble Mind earlier. It's a shame that I can't use silence. There's a lot of things that I would like to keep silent when it comes to fighting some other magic users. Okay, let's get our buffs up. I'm only going to put that up going against the spellcaster, obviously. But I will always take haste if I can. Okay, let's just save that in the front slot again. There we go. Trigger some unpleasant monsters. Seems to be an awful lot of fuss for a thing to go in. Oh, it's so good to have haste. That's what I'm about to need. When I go down here. Because gasps! Monsters! Well, Mummy likes throwing out lightning bolts. Let's see how much he likes in return. Didn't like that at all. Pete secures everything when it comes to pixies. Going to need that tomb key, definitely. Because in this room here, there is a very nasty, unpleasant leech-like magic user. And he's sitting on top of one of the books that you've been asked to find. That mummy did rather eat up our combat spells, so let's just renew those. So that haste lasting us a couple of minutes. Okay, more buffs. I'm going to be spending an increasing amount of time buffing up as this game develops. It slows things down, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily like it. On we go. Let's just trigger all these mobs. Got a curse there.
Victory will be ours!
That's very well done. The turn of dead is now actually turning, rather than just rebuking. Well, that was pretty good. Right, she's got her spell resistance on. Let's just see if she needs to level up. No, she's good. This should set off some more mummies, or possibly some skeletons, depending on how the game is scaling. Oh, there's still skeletons, fine.
In the name of Sanin Moonbow!
Oh, the cursed monk has evade my spell. And again. At least that bit did some good. I could definitely do with a bit of a sit down and a rest now. Unlocked chest, how rare. Actually, all things being equal, the extended haste isn't really getting me very much. So I think I'll toss in those to get myself a little bit more damage. Raised dad, well, there's been far too much of that going on here already. Come back to always forgiven. So we've done this side. Now we just need to take care of that and then move to the boss.
Ortano, Fortigiama! Ortano, Fortigiama! Ortano, Fortigiama! Ortano, Fortigiama!
Now, what has she seen? Oh, she's seen that over there. That's aggravating. She's being a little bit premature there, I think.
Goddess, take you now! Goddess, take you now!
Ortano, Fortigiama! Ortano, Fortigiama!
Well, I hope she's proud of herself.
Ipu, Soleno, Samatka!
More traps. Lots more traps. That looks like another ruby crossbow. That's exactly what it is. Makes a pleasant change to actually find some decent loot for once. Which that most certainly wasn't. See if there's anything else on here we can clear out. Yes, got that zombie over there. And I think we've had enough of that one as well. Oh, another zombie still there. Okay.
Goddess, take you now!
This has actually reached us a fair amount of decent XP rather quickly. I'm very pleased to say. But before we go any further, definitely want to heal up before we attack the boss. This, in the past, has been quite a tricky fight playing with somebody who's a melee character. I'd be interested to see how it goes. Someone who is a magic user. See, there's a few zombies and things in there, which, as a rule, wouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, let's just get ourselves buffed up before we go in. Okay, here we go. The chat that we really need to worry about is this one there. Familiar dying immediately wasn't much of a surprise. Let's have him back then.
Victory will be
Now that's quite aggravating. He is immune to cold and electrical. And since all my spells are cold and electrical spells, this could prove to be something of a problem. At least I can do bludgeoning damage with that. Yep, he got me. He got me. He's a tough fight. Okay. We might want to take a little approach to this, and I might want to start handing out my fireballs. It'll help I remember I got those. Okay. So, we've got a zombie lord. I think we can start by dealing with him, since he's not killed me. Let's dispel his stuff. Okay, so far so good. Let's have a look and see what he's got up. Just bludgeon him a bit. Not fun at all. He seems to have some kind of instant kill spell there. Third time lucky, maybe? Perhaps. I'd be well advised to go straight for him. Got him that time. Still got this zombie to deal with, though.
Ortano, Fortigiama! Ortano, Fortigiama!
Well, third time lucky, I guess. Was that fourth? I lost count. How much did we get for killing the boss? 480 experience for killing him. And we did get our hench person killed for our charity. We found the Town of Life, hooray!
This pack is heavier than I am.
Rainbow armor! Cold, electric, and fire resistance. We can't use it, but I can sure as hell sell it. That wraps it up for the crypt. Which method does a decent amount of XP, actually. I'm not going to complain at all about that result. Made that place a lot safer. I wonder if you tell him it's been done, if he'll give you anything for it.
Good day.
No. He's cleaned out his graveyard, he's not prepared to pay me for it. Really. I think there's a bridge right there. And here we are back at the Green Griffin.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You startled me.
What'll you have then?
Well, that's suspicious. Someone says that their brother has been kidnapped or some other way interfered with, and it wants us to go and rescue them. That does seem awfully suspicious in the middle of everything else that's going on. Now we're about to go into a different area, so I'm going to update my spell book again. I've been quite happy with how all these spells are working out.
What'll you have then?
But I think I'll just tweak them again. Because I do love my cloud kill. It's more stinking cloud. We're going to go on this. Couple of clouds of bewilderment. Always happy. That was in the wrong place. Let's not do that. That's more like it.
What'll you have then?
First things first. Let's just steal a few things. Okay, that's done. Before we go any further, I'm going to go and do hand-ins. I'll pick her up on the way back.
I am pleased. Have you yet discovered? This is good news. Well, then I am pleased to see. Have you yet discovered any? Why do you ask me that? The spy master put you. I see. The servants. After all that has happened with the plague and Fenthig. Now you too? Perhaps you are right. And the voices. And then these.
Yes.
These are my
Yes.
dreams. That's kind of. I do feel. Until then, however, let's go with tears.
The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your... May the luck of...
Okay, so we've been chatting about Beth a little bit more. Now we have a word with Grimnar.
Is there something you...
Level him up.
Is there something...
And we'll talk to him about his quest. Just cycle that really quickly.
Is there...
Cycle.
Is there...
And finally,
Is there something...
there we go. So, we've now got an improved Amulet of Long Death. Constitution +3. What difference would that make to us now? Ten hit points. And an extra point of fortitude save. But I know where I'm going in a minute. And I absolutely need the amulet of health on for this. So I think I'll just leave that where it is for the moment. Not quite finished though, so I've got one more thing to do. We have found one of the tomes. So it'd be a good idea to go and hand that in. And before we do that, let's have a look at what it says. You create a ring of endure elements with the Tower of Life. Ring of endure elements. Which, as I understand it, from just having a quick look at a walkthrough, it gives us the same ring that we've already got. So I'm not really going to bother with doing that. Let's see whether or not I can afford to buy a golden circus after I've done this. Okay, more things to get rid of. Lots and lots of those. I seem to have collected a lot of things that are totally worthless. Fortunately, that stuff's sold a little bit better. I have nothing left to sell. $27,844. I can just afford the golden circlet, which I'm now going to take. So, I'm now immune to all mind-affecting spells. And have that 10 spell resistance, which is not actually a huge amount of use to me. Although, being immune to death magic would be quite handy, so if I can afford it, I'll pick that up at some point. I think my next purchase should be the Ring of Clear Thought, however. Get back those 2 points I lost there. In fact, it'll only gain me 1 since I'm already relying on it to swap it out. See how it's affecting my spell book because it will have done. It dropped me one of my spell slots, second level spell slot. No huge loss in Europe, to be honest. I'm not going to cry over a second level spell slot. Just double check. Nope, don't have any traps. There's sell those. Let's put the leaving back up again.
Still feel
We'll be going up against someone dead in a moment. Let's sit down to make sure that she gets her spells renewed. All good. Okay, well, I'm going to stop here for now. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Next time, we'll be heading into the Green Griffin's dungeon and finding what doom awaits us there. I hope if you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe. And come and see me again when we next tackle Neverwinter Nights 1.